right, so we got some good Canadians up in the house, so you'll love our first story, I think. We're going to start with some hockey history. Take a look at this shot by Alex Ovechkin because he toppled Wayne Gretzky to become the top goal scorer in the NHL. So there it is, big moment. Big moment in hockey. However, a Globe and Mail columnist is arguing that it is hard to ignore the Russian hockey star's politics and his ties with Russian President Vladimir Putin. In fact, his Instagram profile picture even is him with, well, he's at the Kremlin standing next to Vladimir Putin.
Wow.
So here's the question, can we celebrate an athlete's success in light of their political leanings? Andrea?
Wow. You know what? I was so happy to go first until I heard all the booing. I was like, because my opinion is I don't care. I don't care, and I don't think sports fans should care. And listen to me, I have a little story to tell. Back in the day, I was covering the Oscars, right? Big deal. And at the time, Vice President Al Gore won for his documentary, An Inconvenient Truth. You guys remember that?
Yeah.
And as soon as he got backstage, I just happened to be standing there, and I got an exclusive interview with him. We talked for like 10 minutes. I was so excited about it. So I get back to the station afterwards, and I tell my boss, I'm like, okay, I interviewed a lot of people, but I got an exclusive with VP Al Gore right after his win. And he goes, too bad that's not going to see the light of day. And I go, why? He goes, well, you know, the big boss is Republican, and so we can't air that. That's not going to see the light of day because they don't align politically. And I go, wait a second, that has nothing to do with politics. He goes, it doesn't matter. And in that moment, first of all, I was so shocked by that.
Yeah.
And in that moment, I'm like, but you have to be able to separate things. It's like his political leanings and the work that he does are two separate things. We need to celebrate. He just won. We're celebrating everybody else. He goes, that's not the way that works. So when I think about Ovechkin, this is why I have this opinion. Listen, no one should take away all the hard work, hours, missing teeth that this man has put into his sport. Right? Because of his political leanings. The reality is, everybody in this room, none of us agree on every single thing, but we still can sit next to each other and have a good conversation and be civil. So I say, let us celebrate this man and whatever he's done in hockey and be like, great job. It takes a lot of hard work to do that. And how you feel about Putin is none of my damn business when it comes to the job that you have.
Okay, I hear what you're saying, but like, look at the reaction that we've had to Wayne Gretzky and his allegiance with Trump, right? Everyone feels a way about that. In fact, I feel like many Canadians have gone on record saying, like, you know what? You kind of no longer have your Canada card, despite all the work that he's done.
Can I go as far as, you know, his nickname is the Great One. Yeah. There are some people I've seen online calling him the Great Once.
Well, there you go. People are mad. And I think
people are mad.
It's because, I mean, correct me if I'm wrong, like, he has a choice. Wayne Gretzky has decided to sleep with the enemy by becoming so cozy with Trump. And I think that in the case of Ovechkin, I mean, I don't know. Is it like, can we say for sure that he has a choice? We know the history of this Russian leader, and if he wasn't to align himself, if he wasn't to put an Instagram photo cozying up with them, again, we don't even know who asked for that. Right. Like, could he end up, like, I don't know.
Well, he could never go back home, like Baryshnikov, the Russian ballet dancer. Like, I think he just made if this was pre-Putin, but he made the decision, I'm just never going home again, I think.
Is there a difference between, okay, maybe he doesn't have a choice, but is there a difference between that and, okay, I'm Russian and I respect my leader, and I put together in 2017 a group in Russia called Team Putin, and he was publicly lobbying in support of Vladimir Putin's 2018 presidential run. So it wasn't just like, I support my leader. It's, I'm going to galvanize, I'm going to fundraise, and I'm going to stand up strong for Putin. It wasn't just, he's my leader. I don't know if that makes a difference.
It only makes a difference for me insofar as I guess I am assuming, and maybe I'm wrong and someone can tell me that there wouldn't necessarily be as much choice. Because if someone like a Putin came up to you behind the scenes and was like, I need you to show your support, how many people, from my understanding, would have the control and the power to say, no, I'm going to actually vote in a different direction? Right. I think there would be strong implications for that
His family still lives there, et cetera. Sure.
Don't you think, I'm going to play devil's advocate, like, I think it's easy to forget that, what's his name?
Ovechkin.
Ovechkin, sorry. Sorry, guys. My point is that, as you might have guessed, I'm not that invested in hockey. So I don't care so much about the Putin ties. But I think for people who already didn't care about an athlete, they're not going to care. But if you really like an athlete, I think you're going to respond differently. Do you know what I mean? And it's one thing to say, like, only the performance should matter, whether it's an athlete, an actor, but where do we draw that line? I think it's only when the politics align with ours. Like, what about Carrie Underwood? or a Kanye? Like, how come? I think the reaction's been a little bit.
That's such a good.
doing
this job.
No, that's such a good point, and I think, you know what? Oh, you just tapped a little nerve for me. Because while I defended Ovechkin, I think like during the presidential election, we saw Snoop Dogg and we saw a lot of rappers like Nelly align themselves with Trump, and as a black person, I was like, well, you're done. No more concerts, not going to your concert. But it's different because as a black person, like, you know how this political affiliation disservices us. Right? So how can you stand beside this man when you know what he's going to do to us?
It became personal.
It became personal
And I
because
think
it's like, how can you be part of the community that is going to be persecuted by this particular...
Well, when you talk about that, let's talk about the NHL.
Russians who...
For Russians, but also for other players in NHL. Dominik Hasek is a huge, huge player, and he's come up. He's from Czechia, formerly the Czech Republic, and he stands up very strongly against Ovechkin because he is on the receiving end. His country, his people have been on the receiving end of Putin's actions. And so I think in 2025, and maybe before this, I don't think there is the luxury now of these figures transcending politics that they may be used to. When we take a look at what Wayne Gretzky has been holding this record for 20 years, we've been so proud of him as the great one because he's not just about hockey, he's about Canada. It's like we dominate hockey, and he has become an unofficial ambassador for Canadians around the world. So we have felt betrayed when he got in bed with Trump.
It became personal.
It became really personal. So, and no one's ever touched Wayne Gretzky in the history of Wayne Gretzky. So I think 2025 is a different year. I really do.
Well,
Interesting. Hey, you, come a bit closer. We've got so many more must-see interviews, spicy debates, lifestyle tips, and pop culture moments. So subscribe to our channel by tapping the logo below and don't miss out.